Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Man Cave. I've got a little project that I thought I'd just go ahead and film and put out because I think it's a helpful tip type situation. People often crack their instruments, and it's very difficult to repair a crack on the top of an instrument, generally because it's a light colored wood, and any kind of a light colored repair is difficult. This video picks up in the middle of the repair. I've already actually started the repair when I start this video and thought to go ahead and film it for you. Hope you will enjoy it. Take a look at this. Well, my friends, this is my buddy Leon Pruitt's guitar. And it fell against an amplifier and cracked this, and this was kind of sunk in. I'm exaggerating, but it was sunk in for quite a ways through here. I reached under here, lifted this up with my hands where it was fairly flat, and even looking at it, it got flatter without doing anything else. It was much flatter. But then what I did was I taped this off, I put CA glue in the crack, and I lifted it up a lot more, and I waited a while for that CA glue to have a little time. Then I lightly spritzed it with an accelerator. Then I did some 200 grit sanding and looked at it, and I'm still not crazy about it, so I put some more tape on here. I'm going to add some more CA glue, and I'm using the odorless CA glue. I'm going to get my close-up glasses here so I can pay attention to what I'm doing. I want to keep this fairly flat so it doesn't run. It came out faster than I wanted, but that's okay. I've got it taped off here, and I'm going to just spread it out with this little, it's like a little screwdriver. I'm just pulling it along in the crack. Like that, and then I'm going to take just a dry towel and soak up some of the extra. Then I'm going to take the tape off, and the reason I'm taking the tape off is because I don't want this to stick down. I'm going to use accelerator on this in just a second again, but you can see there up close what it looks like. And I'm going to take the accelerator and get very high above this. I'm going to hold this up again while I'm doing this. I'm going to get very high above this and just very lightly spritz it. And that generally will keep it from turning white, especially if you wait a while. You definitely don't want to spritz it too quickly. That looks much better this time. It looks like it filled all the crack really well. Give it a few seconds to just cure there a little bit more. Now I'm going to use some 2000 grit sandpaper. Very lightly with the 2000, go over the top of that CA glue. Trying to just sand the CA glue, but that's kind of impossible. You're going to hit some other stuff. But that's okay. If I can just knock the CA glue down a little bit. The CA glue stands up proud, and it's a little, I don't know, it's kind of a bump there, and I'm afraid the sandpaper is not going to take it down. If it weren't for the fact that there's kind of a low spot here, it's still a little low. I would use the trick of putting tape on here and scraping it, but because this isn't perfectly flat, that's going to scrape on the ends, and it's not going to work as well. So I'm going to take a round blade like this and scrape it. I'm going to sharpen this just a little bit more. I think it's pretty sharp already. I've got my little stone here. I'm just going to try to get this X-Acto blade really, really sharp. I think that'll probably do it. It feels really good. I'm going to take and go very, very lightly here. I'm going to sit down and get comfortable. I got my close-up glasses on. Get the light down here close so I can see what I'm doing. And very lightly scrape this. I mean, like so light that it's kind of hard to explain. No pressure at all. I'm just trying to hit just the CA glue. Trying to knock the high spot off of it. It probably sounds like I'm doing a lot more than I am, but I am barely touching that, and I'm not kidding you. And it is scraping it off very lightly. I can still see a little bit of the crack right in here. I'm hoping by the time I get it level, that'll go away. This will almost be a seamless repair if it'll just cooperate here. Yeah, it's working. It's better. I can still feel it a little bit, so I'm trying to get rid of the feel. Again, you can't stress how light I'm pressing. I'm not pressing at all. In fact, I'm using my finger to hold it up so that it's not pressing on there, and I'm just barely letting the blade touch the CA glue. I think I got it. I think that's got it completely filled. It's still proud of the surface though, so I got to go down some more. The crack has gone away. It's not there at all. Still feel it. I'm just trying to get rid of that feel, and then I'll sand the whole area and buff it. Still a little bit. Barely feel it at all now. I don't know if I can quit there or if I need to go a little bit more. I'm trying to get it, because I know the CA glue is much harder than the other finish, and it won't sand down, I don't think, compared to the rest of it. I can still feel it. I wish I didn't feel it. Still just a hair high, I think, above the finish. I think that's about as much as I can do. Now I'm going to take this 2000 grit sandpaper and try to smooth that out even. And I think, again, the problem with sanding CA glue is that it's harder than the surrounding finish. Well, it's almost looks like it's gone to my eye, and I'm up here close looking at it, so that's looking pretty good to me. I don't think anybody will notice that it was ever cracked now. Now we'll get the semi-chrome polish and buff it out the rest of the way. Semi-chrome polish here is what I'm using. And it doesn't take much of this at all. In fact, you can't hardly get too little on your applicator. Just barely want any on there. And then I'm just gonna buff this whole area here. And just buff it really good. You know, just really rub it in and buff it. And then once you get that buffed in, then you take the clean area of the cloth and buff it out some more. That's pretty darn good. Better than I thought I would get when I started. So, because I know how these things are. It's almost impossible to do a finish repair on a light finish that you can't see. It's just about impossible. Close to impossible as anything can be. So it's not easy to do a light finish repair, but I think we got a pretty good job here. That's pretty good. It's not perfect. Nothing's ever perfect when you do these kinds of things, but it's pretty good. It's as good as I think I can do. Now the only other thing we'll do is we'll top it off with a little bit of blowing all the dust off of it here. We'll top off in fact, I think I'll just go ahead and wax the whole top of the guitar with the Renaissance wax, and that'll probably make it virtually invisible. We'll just do a small area at a time. We don't want to do very much at a time. And this Renaissance wax is really good stuff. I highly recommend it way over any kind of liquid polishes. And then I love these these blue shop towels. This is my favorite for buffing on an instrument. I've used all kinds of fabrics over the years, but I have never found anything that buffs them like these towels do. In my opinion, it's the best that you can do. I have these on the products I use page. I have the Renaissance wax on there. I also have this odorless CA glue, all of that. Well, my friends, I wasn't going to film this at all, but I did show a before picture on my vlog this morning, and I'll insert that right here, and you can see how it looked this morning. I'm holding Leon's guitar. When Leon was here Thursday night, he brought this guitar to me, and he says, "Can you fix this?" And I said, "Fix what?" And he said, "Right here." See, he dropped it. See, can you see the crack there? Well, he didn't drop it. It fell over against an amp or something like that and popped it right here. I don't really think it's a big deal. If it wasn't fixed at all, it'd probably be just fine. But I am going to try to fix it, stabilize it, that whole bit. Now that you've seen that, here's what it looks like now. It's almost completely invisible. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. You can tell it if you get down here and get it in the right light, and you can see it. But it's just so minimal now comparatively. And I also felt the CA glue penetrate through with my fingers on the inside, so I know the glue penetrated the crack. And therefore, it should be a good repair on top of that. It should be stable now. So it's really turned out pretty nice. Hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to be very careful with CA glue on any instrument because it can run in a heartbeat and it will ruin your whole day. It'll mess up the whole finish of your instrument, so be super careful with it. Hope you enjoyed the tip. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.